Stop! The deal is a fraud. The transfer code has a backdoor. Sofia Reyes burst through the revolving doors of the Ritz-Carlton, her worn coat flapping, her 7-year-old son Miguel clutching her hand, security guards already moving to intercept her. In the lobby, Viktor Petrov, billionaire CEO of Petrov Technologies, net worth $3.2 billion, looked up from the contract he was about to sign. A contract worth $1 billion, the deal that would cement his legacy. "Security," Viktor's voice was sharp. "Remove this woman immediately." "Please, your son, the code he's using, I saw the reflection in the car window. There's a redirect function embedded in line 347. "This is absurd." Viktor's son, Julian, 32, impeccably dressed CFO, closed his laptop with practiced calm. "Father, this woman is clearly disturbed. Let security handle it." Sofia struggled as guards grabbed her arms. "I'm a data analyst. I know code. The transfer won't go to the acquisition account. It's routing through a shell company in the Cayman Islands." "How dare you?" Viktor stood, his face cold with fury. "You're a homeless woman trying to scam your way into my business. Get her out, now." As security dragged Sofia toward the door, she screamed one last desperate thing. "Line 347! Check line 347 of the transfer protocol. The variable destination act is reassigned after validation. It's a switch and bait in the execution phase." Viktor froze, because he was an engineer before he was a billionaire, and what Sofia just said was technically precise, impossibly specific, and absolutely terrifying if true. "Wait." Viktor raised his hand. Security stopped. "Release her. For one moment." Julian's face went pale. "Father, we don't have time for—" "Julian, open your laptop. Show me line 347 of the transfer code." "This is ridiculous. Show me the code." What Viktor was about to discover would destroy his family and save his fortune. Because the homeless immigrant he'd almost thrown out wasn't crazy. She was the only honest person in the room. Before we continue, if you enjoy stories that move and transform us, tales of justice, legacy, resilience, and love, consider subscribing to Becca's Stories. We showcase the beautiful perspectives that emerge from life's changes, offering narratives of profound moral strength and unwavering character. Now, back to our story. Christmas Eve morning. Viktor Petrov's penthouse office. Viktor Petrov stood in his floor-to-ceiling windowed office looking at the city below. 55 years old, self-made billionaire. Founded Petrov Technologies 30 years ago, building it from a garage startup to a global cybersecurity empire. Today was the biggest day of his career, selling his proprietary encryption algorithm to a major defense contractor for $1 billion. His legacy, his crowning achievement, his proof that the immigrant kid from Russia who'd arrived with nothing had conquered America. "Father, the contracts are ready." Entered. Julian, Viktor's only child, 32, CFO of the company, Harvard MBA, everything Viktor had worked to provide. "You've triple-checked the transfer protocols?" "Personally verified. The $1 billion will transfer directly to our acquisition account the moment contracts are signed. Clean, simple, irreversible." Viktor smiled. "Your mother would be proud. She always said you had my mind for business." Julian's late mother, Viktor's wife, Elena, had died 5 years ago. Since then, it had been just Viktor and Julian, building the empire together. "Tonight, we celebrate. After the signing, we'll have Christmas dinner at Per Se. Just us. Like always." "Like always," Julian echoed. His face was unreadable. What Viktor didn't know, Julian was $47 million in debt from gambling, and he'd spent 6 months embedding a backdoor in the transfer code that would reroute the $1 billion to an untraceable account in the Cayman Islands. By the time Viktor discovered the theft, Julian would be gone, and Viktor would be destroyed. Same morning, subway station shelter. Sofia Reyes woke up on a bench in the subway station, her son Miguel curled against her, both of them covered by a thin blanket. 35 years old, Honduran immigrant, former senior data analyst at a major tech firm in San Francisco, until her visa expired during renewal processing, and her employer, unwilling to wait through immigration delays, terminated her immediately. No visa meant no legal work. No work meant no apartment. No apartment meant this. 4 months living on the streets with her son, staying in shelters when they had space, subway stations when they didn't. "Mama, I'm hungry," Miguel whispered. Sofia pulled out 2 granola bars, their breakfast. She'd managed to sell 3 of her paper origami sculptures yesterday for $5 each, enough for these granola bars and a hot chocolate from Miguel. "After breakfast, we'll go to the nice hotel. Sometimes the guests buy my artwork. Maybe today we'll make enough for a real meal." Sofia had been a data analyst. She'd reviewed code, identified vulnerabilities, built security protocols. But those skills meant nothing when you couldn't legally work. So she made origami, sold it to tourists, and survived. What Sofia didn't know, today, those data analyst skills she thought were useless would save a billionaire's fortune and change her life forever. Outside the Ritz-Carlton. Sofia sat on a bench across from the hotel, Miguel beside her, her small display of origami animals laid out on a cloth. "Paper cranes, sir? Only $5. I make them myself." Most people walked past without looking. Some dropped change without taking anything. One woman bought a butterfly for her daughter. Sofia made $8 in 2 hours. Then a black Rolls-Royce pulled up to the hotel entrance. A man stepped out, 50s, expensive suit, commanding presence, Viktor Petrov, though Sofia didn't know his name. Behind him, a younger man in an equally expensive suit, Julian Petrov. They were meeting someone. A group of men in military-style business attire, defense contractors, Sofia's analyst brain automatically noted from their bearing and the classified document cases. This was a major deal. Maybe weapons, maybe technology, definitely high stakes. Julian set up a laptop on a table visible through the hotel's glass doors. Sofia could see him typing, pulling up documents, turning the screen to show the contractors. And that's when Sofia's old habits kicked in. She couldn't help it. Years of analyzing code, spotting patterns, reading screen reflections in conference room windows to verify colleagues' work, it was automatic. The laptop screen was angled toward the hotel's glass doors. The afternoon sun created a clear reflection in the window of a Mercedes across the street. Sofia could see the code on Julian's screen. Transfer protocol, Python, looked like, clean syntax. Professional. Too professional, too clean. Sofia squinted, her mind automatically parsing the visible lines of code reflected in the car window. Variables, functions, validation checks, standard banking security protocols. And then, partially visible as Julian scrolled, a reassignment function. 120 lines of verification code, execute transfer. Sofia's blood went cold. That wasn't a bug. That was deliberate fraud. A switch and bait hidden in hundreds of lines of legitimate code. The transfer would validate to one account, then redirect to another at the moment of execution. By the time anyone noticed, the money would be gone. And the young man, the son, was scamming his own father. Sofia stood up, heart pounding. She had to warn them. This was a billion-dollar theft about to happen. But she was homeless, disheveled. Who would listen to her? Miguel tugged her hand. "Mama, what's wrong?" "Stay here, baby. I have to stop something bad from happening." "But, Mama—" "Stay here. I'll be right back." Sofia ran toward the hotel entrance. Sofia burst through the revolving doors, immediately drawing every eye in the luxury lobby. She looked exactly like what she was. A homeless woman who hadn't showered in 3 days, wearing a stained coat, running shoes with holes, desperation in her eyes. "Stop! The deal is a fraud!" Security moved immediately, but Sofia kept screaming, pointing at Julian's laptop. "The transfer code has a back door. It's redirecting to the Cayman Islands." Viktor stood, his face darkening. "Who are you? How did you—" "I saw the code reflection in the car window. I'm a data analyst. I know what I saw. Your son's transfer protocol has a hidden redirect function." Julian closed the laptop smoothly. "Father, this woman is clearly disturbed. She's been sitting outside making paper animals. She's probably schizophrenic." "I'm not crazy," Sofia struggled against security guards. "Please, just look at line 347. The variable destination account gets reassigned after validation. It's basic switch and bait embedded in the execution phase." Viktor hesitated, because what Sofia just said was technically sophisticated, precise, specific. "Julian, open your laptop." "Father, we don't have time for this." "Open it. Show me line 347. "This is absurd. We have contractors waiting." "Now." Julian's mask slipped for just a second. Fear flickered across his face. And Viktor saw it. "Guards, release her, but don't let her leave." Viktor approached his son. "Julian, the laptop. Now." "Father, you're going to embarrass us over some homeless woman's delusions." "I'm an engineer, Julian. I built this company on code I wrote myself. And what that woman just described is technically possible. So either show me the code and prove her wrong, or explain to me why you won't." The lobby was silent. Julian slowly opened the laptop, turning it toward Viktor. "There, line 347. Standard destination validation. No redirect. She's wrong." Viktor studied the screen, then said something that made Julian's face drain of color. "That's line 220. Scroll down to line 347. This is line—" "Julian, I can count. Scroll down." Julian's hands were shaking as he scrolled. And there it was, partially hidden in comment formatting, but unmistakable once you looked. Execute primary transfer. Viktor stared at the screen for a long moment. Then very quietly, "What is Shell Redirect Cayman 7734? "It's a backup validation. Don't lie to me. What is it?" Julian said nothing. Viktor turned to Sofia, who was still held by security but watching with desperate hope. "You, come here." Sofia approached, trembling. "You said you're a data analyst." "I was. Senior analyst at TechCorp in San Francisco. Until my visa expired and they terminated me. I've been unemployed for 4 months. Look at this code. Tell me what you see." Sofia studied the laptop screen, her mind falling into the familiar patterns of code review. "It's a redirect. The first 340 lines validate the legitimate recipient account, standard security protocols. But then, right before execution, line 347 reassigns the destination variable to a different account. When the transfer executes, the money goes to the shell account, not the validated recipient." "Could it be a backup security measure?" "No, because it happens after validation, not before. And it's disguised as a comment. This is deliberate fraud, hidden in legitimate code." Viktor looked at his son. "Julian, explain this." "She's wrong. She's misreading. I'm a software engineer, Julian. I built this company writing code. Don't insult me." "Father, I can explain. Explain why you embedded a redirect to a Cayman Islands account in a $1 billion transfer. Explain why you're stealing from me. The defense contractors were backing away, recognizing a family crisis that had nothing to do with them. Julian's face crumbled. I needed the money. I have debts. I was going to pay it back. You were going to steal $1 billion from me. It was just business. The algorithm is worth more anyway. You'd rebuild. You were going to destroy me. Viktor's voice broke. Your own father. On Christmas Eve. Julian tried to run. Security stopped him. Viktor turned to the contractors. Gentlemen, obviously this deal is postponed. I apologize for wasting your time. Then he turned to Sofia, still standing there in her homeless coat, her homeless appearance stark against the luxury lobby. What's your name? Sofia. Sofia Reyes. Sofia, you just saved me from losing everything, including my faith in humanity. Viktor paused. Where did you learn to analyze code like that? TechCorp. I was senior data analyst for 3 years before I lost my visa. Why were you looking at your son's laptop from across the street? I can't help it. When I see code, I read it. It's automatic. I saw the reflection in the car window, and I just saw the pattern. The redirect. I had to warn you. Viktor looked at this homeless woman who'd saved his fortune when his own son tried to destroy it. Sofia, do you have somewhere to go tonight? You and your son. The shelter on 53rd Street if they have space. If not, subway station. Not anymore. Come with me.
That evening, Sofia and Miguel sat in a luxury hotel suite. The Ritz-Carlton had given Viktor a room for them as a courtesy while he dealt with the crisis. Miguel was taking his first hot shower in 4 months. Sofia sat on the bed, still trying to process what had happened. A knock on the door. Viktor entered, looking exhausted. May I sit? It's your hotel room. It's your hotel room now, for as long as you need it. Viktor sat in the chair by the window. I need to ask you something. The code you saw, how much did you actually see? Just fragments, reflected in the car window, but enough to recognize the pattern. Could you see the account destination, the shell company details? No, just the redirect function. Why? Because I've spent the last 4 hours with forensic accountants and cybersecurity experts going through Julian's system. Sofia, the $1 billion wasn't his first theft. It was just his biggest. Sofia felt sick. How much? $47 million. Over 3 years. Small amounts. Buried in operational expenses, consulting fees, technology upgrades. All legitimate looking. All going to shell companies he controlled. Why? Gambling debts. He was in so deep he couldn't see a way out except to steal from me. Viktor's voice was hollow. My own son. I gave him everything. Harvard, CFO position, trust. And he was robbing me blind. I'm sorry. Don't be. You saved me. If that deal had gone through, the $1 billion would have vanished. By the time I discovered it, Julian would have been gone. I'd have been investigated for fraud. The company would have collapsed. You saved everything. I saw the code. I had to say something. Most people wouldn't have. Most people would have assumed it wasn't their business, or that a billionaire could handle his own problems, or that a homeless woman's warning wouldn't be believed. Viktor looked directly at Sofia. But you spoke up anyway. Why? Because it was wrong. Because someone was about to be hurt. Because... Sofia's voice cracked. Because I know what it's like when the system fails you, when you do everything right and still lose everything. I couldn't let that happen to someone else if I could stop it. Viktor was quiet for a long time. Then, tell me about your visa situation. I came here 12 years ago. Legally. Work visa. I was recruited by TechCorp. Everything was legal. But when my visa came up for renewal, there were processing delays. Immigration said it would take 6 to 8 months. My employer said they couldn't wait. They terminated me. They could have sponsored you for a different visa. They could have. They chose not to. Too expensive. Too much paperwork. Easier to hire someone else. Sofia looked at her hands. So, I became illegal overnight. Not because I did anything wrong, because the system is broken and no one cared enough to fix it for me. What happened then? I couldn't work legally. Couldn't pay rent. Got evicted. Miguel and I went to shelters. When those were full, we slept in subway stations. I tried to sell things, do odd jobs for cash, keep us fed, keep him in school. He's 7 years old, and he's been homeless for 4 months because the immigration system is broken and no one will give me a chance to fix my status. Why didn't you go back to Honduras? Because Miguel was born here. He's American. His future is here. And because in Honduras, Sofia stopped, unable to continue. Because it's dangerous. Because we'd die. Gang violence. Poverty. I left to give my son a chance. I can't go back. Viktor stood and walked to the window, looking at the city lights. My father brought me to America from Russia when I was 8 years old. We had nothing. He worked 3 jobs, died of a heart attack when I was 16 from the stress. But he got me here, gave me opportunity. I built Petrov Technologies to honor his sacrifice. And tonight, my own son, who had every advantage I could provide, tried to steal it all, while you, who has nothing, saved it. I did what was right. That's more rare than you know. Viktor pulled out his phone. I'm calling my immigration attorney. Tonight. Emergency filing. We're fixing your visa status. I can't afford. Yes, you do. And I need you. Viktor sat back down. Sofia, I need someone I can trust. Someone who sees what others miss. Someone who will tell me the truth even when it's difficult. Someone whose loyalty I don't have to question. What are you saying? I'm saying I want to offer you a job. Chief of Cybersecurity at Petrov Technologies. Salary $250,000 a year. Full benefits. Housing assistance. And a legal team dedicated to getting your permanent residency. And eventually, citizenship. Sofia stared at him. I've been homeless for 4 months. You met me 3 hours ago. You don't know. I know that you identified sophisticated fraud in 3 seconds from a reflection in a car window. I know you risked humiliation and arrest to warn a stranger. I know you protected your son through circumstances that would have destroyed most people. That's all I need to know. Why? Because my son taught me that privilege and pedigree mean nothing. You taught me that integrity and skill matter. I'd rather have 1 Sofia Reyes than 100 Julians. Sofia started crying. I can't. I don't know what to say. Say yes. Say you'll take the job. Say you'll help me rebuild what my son tried to destroy. From the bathroom, Miguel emerged in a hotel robath, his hair still wet, looking at his mother. Mama, why are you crying? Sofia pulled her son close. Because something good finally happened, mijo. Something very good.
3 weeks later, Julian Petrov sat in a federal prison awaiting trial for wire fraud. The evidence was overwhelming. He'd confessed everything. Sofia and Miguel lived in a modest but comfortable apartment provided by Petrov Technologies as part of her employment package. Miguel was enrolled in school. Sofia's visa was in emergency processing, with Viktor's attorneys expediting every step. And Sofia was working. Every day she went to Petrov Technologies headquarters, where she was systematically reviewing every line of code, every financial protocol, every security measure Julian had touched. She found 17 additional backdoors, smaller frauds, hidden vulnerabilities, all removed, all documented. Viktor watched her work with something like awe. How do you see these patterns so quickly? Practice and necessity. When you spend 4 months analyzing everything around you because you have nothing else to do, you get good at spotting what doesn't fit. I'm glad you do. They were in Viktor's office, reviewing security protocols, when Viktor's attorney arrived with news. Julian's attorney is requesting a meeting. He wants to negotiate a plea deal. Viktor's face hardened. No deal. He stole from me. He tried to destroy me. He goes to trial. Viktor, Sofia spoke quietly. May I say something? Always. He's your son, your only child, the last connection you have to your late wife. Are you sure you want to burn that bridge completely? He burned it, not me. I know, but hatred destroys the person holding it more than the person receiving it. Trust me, I know about hatred. Viktor looked at her. What do you mean? The employer who terminated me instead of waiting for my visa? I hated them, blamed them. For months, that hatred was all I had. It made me bitter. It made me angry. It made me almost miss the chance to help you because I'd stopped believing anything good could happen. How did you let it go? I realized that holding on to hatred meant they still controlled me. Even though I'd lost everything, they still had power over me. The only way to be free was to let go. Sofia paused. Julian is your son. He's sick. Gambling addiction is a disease, not just a choice. He needs help, not just punishment. And you need closure, not revenge. Viktor was quiet for a long time. Then, to his attorney, set up the meeting. I'll hear what he has to say. 2 days later, Viktor sat across from Julian in a conference room with attorneys present. Julian looked terrible. Prison jumpsuit, unshaven, broken. Father, Don't apologize, don't make excuses. Just listen. Julian nodded, unable to meet his eyes. You stole from me. You betrayed me. You tried to destroy everything I built. If Sofia hadn't seen your code, you'd have succeeded. I'd be ruined, and you'd be gone. I know. I'm sorry. I said don't apologize. Sorry means nothing now. Viktor leaned forward. But I'm not going to let hatred destroy what's left of our family. Your mother wouldn't want that, and neither do I. Julian looked up, hope flickering. Here's what's going to happen. You plead guilty. You go to prison. The sentence will be lighter with cooperation, but you will serve time. When you get out, you'll work. Not for me, but for a rehabilitation program I'm funding, helping other people with gambling addiction. Father, I'm not finished. You'll never work at Petrov Technologies again. You'll never have access to any account or system I control. You will rebuild your life from the bottom up, like I did, like Sofia did. I understand. And here's the hard part. I forgive you, not because you deserve it, because I need to let go of this hatred before it destroys me. But forgiveness doesn't mean trust. You'll have to earn that back, if you ever can. Julian started crying. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know why Gambling addiction, pressure, pride, fear. It doesn't matter why anymore. What matters is what you do next. You can let this destroy you, or you can use it to become better. I want to be better. Then prove it. Not to me, to yourself. After Julian was escorted out, Viktor sat alone in the conference room for a long time. Sofia found him there an hour later. How did it go? Harder than I expected. Easier than I feared. Viktor looked at her. Thank you for reminding me that revenge and justice aren't the same thing. Your son is sick, not evil. There's a difference. Sofia, why are you so kind? After everything you've been through, why don't you hate everyone? Because hatred takes too much energy, and I need that energy for Miguel, for surviving, for building something better. Sofia smiled. Besides, if I'd been consumed by hatred, I'd walked past your deal without caring. Bitterness makes you blind. I chose to stay open. That's why I saw the fraud. You're wiser than most people with PhDs. I'm not wise. I'm just tired of being angry. It's easier to be kind.
6 months later, Sofia stood in front of the Petrov Technologies Board of Directors, presenting her complete security audit. I've reviewed every system Julian touched, found and removed 17 backdoors, implemented new protocols. We are now among the most secure companies in the industry. The board applauded. One board member asked, "Ms. Reyes, your background is impressive, but you've only been in this position 6 months. How do you explain the speed and thoroughness of your work?" I spent 4 months homeless, analyzing everything I saw because I had nothing else to do. I learned to see patterns others miss, to notice details others ignore. That skill set translates well to cybersecurity. And your immigration status? My work visa was approved last month. I'm applying for permanent residency next year. After the meeting, Viktor pulled Sofia aside. The board is impressed. So am I. I'm just doing my job. You're doing Julian's old job better than he ever did it, and with actual integrity. Viktor handed her an envelope. Your 6-month review and a bonus. Sofia opened it. A $100,000 bonus. Her hands shook. This is too much. It's a fraction of what you saved me. Take it. Buy a house. Invest it. Give Miguel the stability he deserves. Viktor, I don't know how to thank you. Thank me by staying, by building something real here, by proving that merit matters more than pedigree. I will. I promise.
Sofia and Miguel stood in the lobby of the Ritz-Carlton, the same lobby where Sofia had burst in, homeless and desperate, exactly 1 year ago. Tonight, she was here as an invited guest at Petrov Technologies' annual Christmas party. Sofia wore a professional dress, not expensive, but clean and dignified. Miguel wore a new suit. Both of them were transformed from the desperate refugees they'd been. "Mama, this is the place where you saved that man, right?" Miguel asked. "Yes, mijo. This is where everything changed." Viktor approached, smiling. "Sofia, Miguel, I'm glad you came. Thank you for inviting us. I have something to show you." Viktor led them to a wall near the entrance. A plaque had been installed. In honor of Sofia Reyes, whose courage and integrity on Christmas Eve 2024 exemplified the values this company was built upon: intelligence, honor, and the willingness to speak truth to power. May we never forget that worth isn't measured by circumstance, but by character. Sofia felt tears forming. "Viktor, this is deserved. You saved more than my money, Sofia. You saved my faith in people. You showed me that the immigrant struggling on the street had more integrity than my own son. That's a lesson I'll never forget." "How is Julian?" "In prison, but doing better. He's working with a counselor, taking responsibility. He asks about you sometimes. Tell him I hope he finds peace." "I will." Viktor smiled. "Oh, and one more thing. The board approved it this morning." "Approved what?" "Your promotion. Chief Technology Officer. You'll be overseeing all our systems, not just security. $400,000 salary. And a company car so you and Miguel don't have to take the subway anymore." Sofia stared at him. "Viktor, I've only been here 6 months. And you've revolutionized our security, earned the respect of every engineer on staff, and proven you're the most valuable person in the company. You've earned this." Miguel tugged his mother's sleeve. "Mama, does this mean we can stay in our apartment forever?" "Yes, mijo, we can stay forever." Viktor knelt down to Miguel's level. "Your mama is a hero, you know that." "I know, she's always been my hero." "Mine too." Viktor stood. "Sofia, I have a gift for you.
Early Christmas present. He handed her an envelope. Inside, a letter from U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Her permanent residency had been approved, and a recommendation from Viktor himself supporting her citizenship application. "You're home now," Viktor said simply. "You and Miguel, you're home." Sofia couldn't speak, just pulled Miguel close and cried. Around them, the Christmas party continued. Executives networking, champagne flowing, the trappings of wealth and success. But in that moment, Sofia realized she was richer now than any of them, because she'd lost everything and rebuilt. She'd been at the bottom and climbed back up through merit and courage. She'd proven that worth isn't circumstance. Intelligence isn't status. Integrity isn't privilege. And she'd saved a billionaire by being the one person willing to tell the truth. That was worth more than money could buy.
Christmas morning, 1 year after the night that changed everything. Sofia and Miguel sat in their apartment, modest but comfortable, filled with Miguel's artwork and Sofia's books about cybersecurity. Viktor had invited them to his penthouse for Christmas dinner. But first, Sofia wanted a quiet moment with her son. "Miguel, do you remember last Christmas, where we were?" "The subway station. It was cold." "Do you remember what I told you? You said that hard times don't last forever, that we just had to keep being good people and something good would happen. Do you believe that now?" Miguel looked around their apartment, at the Christmas tree Sofia had bought, at the presents underneath, not many, but enough. "Yes, Mama, I believe it." "Good, because it's true. Hard times don't last, but good people endure. Remember that." Later, at Viktor's penthouse, Sofia helped cook Christmas dinner while Viktor and Miguel built a model rocket kit at the dining table. "Viktor, can I ask you something?" "Always." "Do you regret what happened with Julian? The fact that he betrayed you?" Viktor considered this. "I regret that he felt he couldn't come to me with his problems. I regret that I didn't see his struggles. But I don't regret the outcome, because it brought you into my life. And you've made this company and me better." "Even though Julian?" "Julian taught me that blood doesn't guarantee loyalty. You taught me that loyalty comes from character. I'd rather have one Sofia on my team than 100 Julians. He's still your son." "I know, and I'm working on forgiving him. It's a process. But I can do that now because you showed me how." He paused. "Sofia, you could have let me sign that deal. You could have walked away. No one would have blamed you. You had your own survival to worry about. Why did you intervene?" "Because I saw something wrong and I could fix it. That's all." "That's everything. Most people see wrong and do nothing because it's not their problem. You saw wrong and acted. That's rare. That's special. I just did what anyone should do. But most people don't. That's what makes you extraordinary." After dinner, Viktor gave Miguel a present. A laptop. "For when you're older, but also for now. I thought maybe your mama could teach you about coding, family tradition." Miguel's eyes went wide. "Really? Really? Every great engineer starts somewhere. Why not start young?" Sofia felt tears forming again. "Viktor, this is too much." "It's not nearly enough. You gave me back my company, my legacy, my faith in humanity. A laptop for your son is the least I can do." Later, as they were leaving, Viktor stopped her at the door. "Sofia, thank you for everything. Thank you for giving us a chance when no one else would. I didn't give you anything. You earned it. Never forget that." As Sofia and Miguel walked to their car, the company car Viktor had given her, Miguel asked,
Mama, why is Mr. Viktor so nice to us? Because we were nice to him first, even when we had nothing. Is that how it works? Be nice first and people are nice back? Not always, but often enough. And even when they're not, being nice makes you feel better about yourself. I want to be like you, Mama. See things other people miss. Help people even when it's hard. Sofia hugged her son. You already are, mijo. You already are. She looked back at Viktor's building, the penthouse where a billionaire lived alone, still mourning his wife, still healing from his son's betrayal. But not entirely alone anymore. Because sometimes the people we save end up saving us. And sometimes the homeless immigrant on the street knows more about loyalty than your own family. That was the real lesson of Christmas. Not that good things happen to good people, but that good people create good things even in impossible circumstances, and that worth is measured by character, not circumstance. Sofia had proven that, and she would spend the rest of her career proving it again and again.
A homeless immigrant saw a $1 billion fraud in a reflection on a car window. She could have walked away, could have assumed it wasn't her problem, could have figured a billionaire could handle his own business. But she didn't. Sofia Reyes burst into a luxury hotel, risking humiliation and arrest, to warn a stranger that his own son was about to destroy him. And in that moment of courage, she saved more than money. She saved a man's legacy, his faith in humanity, his belief that integrity still matters. And she proved something the world tries to make us forget, that your worth isn't determined by your circumstances, that intelligence doesn't need a home address, that expertise doesn't disappear just because the system fails you. Sofia was homeless, but she was still brilliant, still capable, still valuable. The only difference between her and the executives in that lobby was opportunity. Not ability, not worth. Just opportunity. And when Viktor Petrov gave her that opportunity, she proved what she'd been all along. Exceptional. This holiday season, maybe you're walking past someone you've dismissed as less than. Someone who's homeless. Someone who's struggling. Someone whose circumstances make them invisible. Remember Sofia. Remember that the person you're ignoring might be the one person who can save you. That the immigrant you're dismissing might be smarter than your own family. That worth isn't measured by where you sleep at night. And remember that sometimes the people at the bottom of society have more integrity than the people at the top. Because privilege doesn't create character. Adversity does. Sofia Reyes had nothing, and she saved a billionaire. Not for a reward, but because it was right. That's the lesson. That's what matters. Your circumstances don't define you. Your choices do. Choose courage. Choose integrity. Choose to see wrong and fix it even when it's not your problem. That's what heroes do. And heroes look like Sofia. Tired, desperate, struggling, but still willing to save someone else. Be that person. The world needs more Sofias.